Hello students, welcome to the online session of Database Management System. In today's session, we are going to study about PLSQL. The contents of Introduction to PLSQL, PLSQL block structure and PLSQL architecture. The learning objectives of session are, after learning this session, students will be able to describe the concept of PLSQL. Students will be able to describe PLSQL block structure and types of blocks, and students will be able to describe the architecture of PLSQL. Up till now, we have studied structured query language, that is SQL. SQL is a query language which is used to interact with the database system. This SQL language has many advantages when we want to interact with the database system. That is, by using SQL queries, we can create database system, we can manipulate data from the database system. Okay, but some disadvantages are there of SQL language, and these disadvantages are, since it is a pure query language, it does not provide any programming facility. That is, we cannot write programming code by using SQL command to interact with the system. We can only write queries to create and manipulate data in a database system. That is, with SQL we can only write DDL and DML command for database interaction. SQL does not provide any technique of condition checking, looping and branching. Since condition checking, looping, branching, iterations, these are the programming techniques which are offered or which are supported by programming languages, these techniques are not supported by SQL. Again, SQL queries are passed one by one to Oracle Engine for the execution. When we write SQL queries and when we want to execute those queries by using Oracle Engine, which is a database tool, for execution of SQL queries, all the queries are passed one by one to the Oracle Engine, and since queries are executed one after another, it increases traffic and decreases the speed of execution. So this is a disadvantage of SQL queries when we want to work with the Oracle Engine. Again, SQL does not provide facility of error checking during data manipulation. That is, while data manipulation operation, if any error occurs, then that error cannot be handled efficiently by SQL queries. Okay, so these are some of the disadvantages of SQL. To overcome these disadvantages, that is to extend the query ability of SQL language to programming ability, PLSQL, that is procedural language, is introduced, which can be combined with SQL queries, and by using that we can achieve programming facility to interact with the database system. Okay, so now we'll see what is PLSQL. PLSQL stands for Procedural Language Structured Query Language. This language, that is PLSQL, is an extension to SQL. Okay, PLSQL is called a block structured language which is used in combination with SQL to create application. We already know by using SQL we can only interact with the database system, but we cannot create application by using SQL queries. So if we want to create any application to interact with the database system, then PLSQL language is used along with the SQL. Okay, and PLSQL is a block structured language. It means that whenever we write code in PLSQL, that code is organized into a block. That's why it is called as a block structured language. These PLSQL statements are grouped under one block and they are executed as a single element. In SQL, we saw that if we want to execute SQL queries using Oracle Engine, then all the queries, all the statements are executed one by one. But since this PLSQL is a block structured language and all the PLSQL instructions or statements are grouped under one block, that block is executed at once as a single element. Means that block is passed as a single element to the Oracle Engine, and Oracle Engine execute that block at a given time. Then PL/SQL uses the powerful feature of SQL like data manipulation, transaction management. Okay, when we say PL/SQL used in combination with SQL, it means that whatever features are there in SQL language like data manipulation or transaction management or database creation, all these features are used by PL/SQL also. Okay, and this PL/SQL language means the data types in PL/SQL language are compatible with the SQL data types. That is, whatever data types we used in SQL language, all these data types are also applicable to PL/SQL coding. Then PL/SQL is a standard and portable language for Oracle database development. That is, PL/SQL can run on any operating system and on any platform where Oracle database is installed. It is developed or it is designed to work with only Oracle database development. If we don't have Oracle database tool on our machine, then PL/SQL programs, PL/SQL procedures or functions cannot be executed. Okay, then PL/SQL can only execute in an Oracle database. It is only developed or designed to work with Oracle. PL/SQL cannot be combined with languages like C++ and Java. We know that C++, Java, these type of high-level languages are also used to create applications to interact with the database system. That is, by combining SQL queries in C++ or in Java program, we can create applications to interact with the database system. But PL/SQL is a language which cannot be combined with this type of high-level languages. Okay, then it is used in Oracle development tool. When we are working in client-server environment, then PL/SQL is used in server side for database management, and it can also be used at client side for the application development tool. Okay, means PL/SQL can work as a both. It can be work as a database development tool, and it can also be work as a application development tool to interact with the system. Then if we want to interact with database, Oracle database, then it is always efficient to write code in PL/SQL language than writing code in any other programming language. As I already told you that if we want to interact with the database system, then we can embed SQL statement or any query language statement in high level language, then we can create application to interact with the system. But whenever we want to interact or whenever we want to work with Oracle type of database, the database which is created by using Oracle development tool, so while working with that type of database, it is efficient and it is flexible to write code or to write application by using PL/SQL language. Okay, so this is all about PL/SQL language. It is a procedural language which is used in combination with SQL to create application to interact with the Oracle database system or Oracle database server. If we don't have Oracle installed on our machine, then we cannot execute PL/SQL program. Okay, now we'll see what are the features of PL/SQL. PL/SQL provides many features of procedural language, like PL/SQL support decision making, looping, iterations, etc. As we know, in object-oriented language or in procedural language, in any high-level language that are used to create application, these languages support decision making. These languages support different control structures, different loops by using which we can iterate the code. So all these features are supported by PL/SQL. This is a feature of PL/SQL language. Then all the statements of PL/SQL blocks are passed to Oracle Engine at once, which increases the speed and decreases the traffic. We already know that PL/SQL is a block structured language. In PL/SQL, the statements are written as a part of block. Okay, and when we want to execute that block is given to Oracle Engine for the execution. And since number of statements are given at a single time to the Oracle Engine for execution, it increases the speed of execution and it also decreases the traffic. Then procedures, function, packages, triggers, these are the objects, or we can say these are the procedures which are written in PL/SQL. They are stored in database and they can be reused by the application. We are already familiar with procedures and functions. Functions or procedures are nothing but the code which are written for specific task, and they are after execution of procedures or functions, the intended or the targeted task can be completed by the system. So whenever we write any PL/SQL procedure or function or any PL/SQL package or triggers, all these type of code are stored in a database system as a database object by using some name. And since they are stored in a database system as a database object, we can reuse all these objects in any application. Means if we want to perform any function, and if function by the system, and if the code for that functionality is already written in PL/SQL and stored in a database as an object, then there is no need to write that code again and again. We can just call that code in any application program. So that is a reusable code in PL/SQL. Then PL/SQL provides error checking facility, which is not there in SQL. Means it provides a runtime error checking facility. If any error occurs during runtime, then that error can be handled by PL/SQL block. So these are the features of PL/SQL. Again, built-in functions and packages of Oracle can be used effectively by PL/SQL language. By using PL/SQL language, we can create our own functions, procedures, packages, or triggers, or we can use built-in or ready-made functions or packages which are provided by Oracle Development Tool. Then PL/SQL provides higher security through triggers that control and record data changes. So trigger is a specialized code in PL/SQL. It is a group of statement by using which we can control the data manipulation, or we can record data manipulation in database system. And through triggers, we can provide security to the code or to the application. So these are some of the features of PL/SQL language. Now we'll see what is the block structure of PL/SQL. We already know PL/SQL programs are written in block. That's why it is called as block structured language. So now we'll see the structure of PL/SQL block. Okay. See, PL/SQL block has different section. The first section is declare section. Second section is begin section. Then we have exception section, and then end. Okay, means whatever statement, whatever PL/SQL code we want to write to interact with the database system, all those statements can be arranged in these three sections, that is declare, begin, and exception. Okay, so whatever statements, whatever code we write within all these sections, the combination of all those statements is called as a PL/SQL block. Okay, and in PL/SQL block, in this block, declare section and exception handling section, that is declare and exception, these two sections are optional section. But begin section, which consists of executable statement, this section is mandatory section in PL/SQL block. Means while writing any PL/SQL block, we can omit declare section, or we can skip exception section, but it is always mandatory, it is always compulsory to write executable statement in begin section. Now one by one we'll see which type of statements can be written in each of the section. So first section of PL/SQL block is declare section. In declare section, we can declare all the identifiers of PL/SQL language. That is, we can declare variables, constants, and cursors. Okay, so it is a declaration part. Then in begin section, it is also called as executable section, and this begin section starts with begin keyword and it ends with end keyword. In this begin section, we write the actual programming code. Whatever task we want to perform with the database system, for that task, for that purpose, we can write programming code in begin section. Okay, and we can also combine DDL and DML command of SQL in this section. See, in PLSQL, we can write PLSQL statement and we can combine DDL and DML queries also. So that executable queries are also the part of executable section. That is, they are also written in begin section. Okay, and this begin section can also include built-in functions. We already know PLSQL can use built-in functions or packages that are provided by Oracle. So these built-in functions and packages can be included in begin section of PLSQL, which is a executable section. Okay, and this executable section, which is a mandatory section of PLSQL block. Mandatory means we cannot omit this section, we cannot skip this section from the coding, because it is a executable section. So this section must contain at least one executable statement. That is, we already know in PLSQL block we can skip declare section, we can skip exception section, but in begin section we must write any executable statement. This begin section cannot be null. Then next we have exception section. In this section, it is used to control error handling. It consists of error handling statement. Okay, and whenever any runtime error occurs in a system while executing PLSQL block, if any error occurs, then then the statements which are written in exception section of block, those statements are executed by the PLSQL engine. Okay, so this declare, begin and exception, these are the main sections of PLSQL block, and end keyword is used to indicate the end of block. And these PLSQL blocks can be nested within one another. Okay, means we can write one PLSQL block as a part of another PLSQL block. Okay, means we can embed this PLSQL block within one another, but this block can be nested in begin section or in exception section. We cannot nest or we cannot embed PLSQL block in declare section. In declare section, we can only declare identifiers like variables, constants and cursors. But if we want to embed or if we want to nest PLSQL block within one another, then those blocks can be nested in begin section or in exception section only. Okay, so this is the introduction to PLSQL block structure. This is how we can write code by using block in PLSQL. Now we'll see what are the different types of blocks in PLSQL. In PLSQL, we mainly have two types of block. First is named block and second is anonymous block. Now what is named block? In PLSQL, each block has unique and specific name. So the blocks that have unique and specific names are called as named block. Okay, and named block in PLSQL can be function or procedure. See, we know that whenever we write any function or whenever we write any procedure by using programming language, we always assign names to that procedure, or we always assign name to the function. So in PLSQL also, the named blocks, that is the blocks which have name, are called as functions or procedures. So functions and procedures are the types of PLSQL named block. These name blocks are stored in Oracle database server as a database object, and these blocks are reusable. In features of PLSQL, we have already seen that PLSQL blocks are stored as a object in a database server, and these objects can be used in any application whenever we want to perform operation which is specified in function or in procedure. Okay, these blocks can be called from another PL/SQL blocks by their name. Since these are named block, since these blocks have different names, we can use those names to call these blocks from another block. We already know that in PL/SQL we can nest block, that is we can embed block within one another. So these blocks can be embedded as a these blocks can be embedded, or these blocks can be nested by using their names. That's why these named blocks are important. These name blocks consist of all the three sections. Just now we have seen that in PL/SQL block we have declare section, begin section and exception section. So all these sections are there in named block also. It consists of all these three sections, but named block starts with these name blocks does not start with declare keyword. Instead it starts with create keyword, because we create a name block and then we store that block into database server. So in block structure we have seen that we have declare section, we have a begin section, exception section, and the starting of block is declare section. But named block never start with declare keyword, it starts with create keyword. Okay, so this name block can contain nested block, that is we can nest any block into name block, we can embed any another block into name block in begin or in exception section. So this is all about named block. Whenever you write any PL/SQL code, whenever you write any PL/SQL function or procedure, and if you assign name to that PL/SQL code, if you have created that PL/SQL code by using create keyword, then it is called as named block in PL/SQL. Okay. Next type of block is anonymous block. Anonymous blocks in PL/SQL are those blocks that don't have any name assigned to it. When we don't assign any name to any PL/SQL block, then it is called as anonymous block. Okay. And these anonymous blocks are not stored in Oracle database server. Since these blocks are not having any name, so they are not stored in Oracle server. They are temporary blocks. Okay, and since these blocks are not having any name, we cannot reuse this block. Means anonymous blocks are not stored in database server as an object, and since they are not stored in database server, we cannot reuse them. These blocks cannot be reusable. Okay, it is for one time use only. These blocks don't need compilation process. Okay, see, since these are one time use block and these blocks are not having any name, so they don't need any compilation process. We can directly write that block and we can directly execute those blocks without storage, without saving that block in a Oracle database server. Okay, this anonymous block also consists of three sections, and these blocks starts with declare or begin keyword. Okay, see, in PL/SQL block structure we know that it is having declare section and it is a starting of anonymous block. Name block start with create keyword, whereas anonymous block starts with declare keyword. Okay, anonymous blocks are executed from an interactive tool or by using command line interface. See, we cannot use any editor or we cannot use PL/SQL code editor to write anonymous block. These blocks are always written by using interactive tool which is provided by Oracle database tool, or we can write anonymous block by using command line interface only, where we can directly execute these blocks without having any compilation process. Okay, these blocks can also be nested in any PL/SQL block. Okay, but they cannot be called by name. In named block, we can embed named block in any PL/SQL block, or we can call named block from any PL/SQL block by using name. But here in anonymous block, we don't have any name, so we can embed this block into another block, but we cannot call anonymous block by using name, because they are not having any name assigned to it. Okay, and it can also contain nested block in it. We know that all types of PL/SQL blocks can be nested within one another. Okay, so this is all about anonymous block in PL/SQL, the block which does not have any name. Okay, these blocks are mainly used for the testing purpose in PL/SQL. So this is anonymous block. Now we'll see architecture of PL/SQL. When we work with PL/SQL environment to interact with the Oracle database system, first we have PL/SQL block as a input. Okay, and this PL/SQL block is given as a input to PL/SQL engine. We have one PL/SQL engine which receives PL/SQL block as a input. Okay, now this PL/SQL block is nothing but a code which is written in PL/SQL language, and this code consists of procedural language statement like loops, constructs, or any other statement which is supported by PL/SQL language, and it also consists of SQL statement. Okay, PL/SQL code is a combination of procedural statement and SQL statement. So when this block is given as an input to PL/SQL engine, PL/SQL in the procedural statement executor, which is a part of PL/SQL engine, this procedural statement executor only execute procedural statement in PL/SQL block, and the SQL statement are given to Oracle database server for the execution. In Oracle database server, SQL statement executor part is there. This part or this executor is used to execute SQL statement. See, in PL/SQL block, whatever statements are written, all those statements are not executed by PL/SQL engine only. PL/SQL engine only compiles and executes procedural statement which are written in PL/SQL block. Okay, and SQL statement executor, that is Oracle database server, this server is used to compile and execute SQL statements. So this is the architecture of PL/SQL, where we have one PL/SQL block as an input. This PL/SQL block can consist of procedural language statement, and it also consists of SQL statement. This block is given as an input to PL/SQL engine. In PL/SQL engine, we have procedural statement executor. This block is used to execute procedural statement which are written in PL/SQL block. And if PL/SQL block consists of any SQL statement, then those SQL statements are given to SQL statement executor part in Oracle database server for the execution. Okay, and here we know that PL/SQL, this language or this programming tool can be installed on machine where Oracle database is installed. If we want to execute PL/SQL engine, we must have Oracle database server installed on a machine. If we don't have Oracle database server on machine, then we cannot execute PL/SQL program. Okay, so this is the architecture of PL/SQL. So this is all about today's session. In today's session, we have studied what are the disadvantages of SQL. SQL is a pure query language which can be used to interact with the database system, but by using SQL, we cannot implement any programming facility for the interaction. That's why PL/SQL is introduced. PL/SQL is a procedural language and structured query language which is used in combination with SQL to extend the powerful features of SQL up to programming facility. Okay, then we have studied block structure of PL/SQL. PL/SQL is a block structured language in which we write code in terms of blocks, and that block is executed at once by the Oracle server. Okay, then we studied the types of blocks in PL/SQL, where we have named block, the blocks that have name, are called as name block, like functions and procedures, and they start with create keyword. And then we have anonymous block. The blocks that don't have any name in PL/SQL are called anonymous block, and they start with declare keyword. Okay, and the block structure of PL/SQL consists of three sections: declare, begin, and exception section. Okay, out of these three section, begin section, which is a executable section, this section is compulsory or mandatory, and declare and exception, these two sections are optional section. So this is all about PL/SQL architecture. In next video, we'll study the fundamentals of PL/SQL so that we can write PL/SQL code. Thank you.